Yes, I wanted to go over a few things that I didn't go over in class today. Um, they're important for the exam and important for me to lecture on. I can't believe I forgot to do this. Um, I already said we were not having class on Thursday, so I'm not going to go back on that. But I do need to explain this stuff to you. So just bear with me for a few minutes, and this will help you do well on the exam. So Southern strategy number one, we didn't talk about it in class. So Southern strategy is a political strategy to increase white voter turnout in southern states in light of demographic changes. That's the answer. With Southern strategy, politicians still use it to this day. It's a way to be racial, well, not without necessarily being racist, right? So if you're talking about immigration, you're talking about how awful illegal immigrants are and illegals and how just messed up they are and all this other stuff. But you're talking about a specific immigrant. You're probably more likely talking about Central Americans or Mexicans. You're that's what you're talking about, but you're saying it in such a way to where you don't the people your audience knows who you're talking about, but you can't really say, oh, you're being racist. I'm talking about any immigrants, but you're really talking about a certain kind of immigrant. And they do it the same with brown people too. When you talk about terrorists, um, a lot of Republicans, they use veiled language to talk about terrorists. They don't ever, you don't really see in the media if a Klansman does something, burns crosses and burns buildings and stuff like that. You don't really see white people called terrorists. You do see brown people, Muslims called terrorists, and it's coded language. It's veiled language, so where you can be racist without being racist, if that makes sense. Watch this Keith Hughes videos that's in the modules that explain Southern strategy. I think that's the title of it. Watch the video with Lee Atwater also. It's a very important video for this unit, and it'll help you get a couple of those questions right. Um, Before the Civil War, white Southerners were more likely to be Democrats. That's a question. I think that's number two. Uh, okay. So the solid South is politically united Southern states of the U.S. traditionally regarded as giving unanimous electoral support to Democratic Party. So the solid South, I'll go over this in class on Tuesday because it's important. But the solid South of the United States is the block of states that consistently vote red. It's not as solid as it used to be, but typically it would be a solid block. And before realignment, they would mostly vote Democrat. Post realignment, they mostly vote Republican. That's what the solid South is, and I'll display it for you in class on Tuesday of next week. Um, the Republican Party in 2018, surprise, surprise, has its most strongest support with white voters. Okay. Uh, Let me see. Number five is going to be Democrats and Federalists. Uh, just giving you the answer to that. Break. All right, I went over that. Went over that. Uh, Went over Duverger's law. Um, mm, I went over party platforms. I know what that is. Okay. Still looking, bear with me. All right, the rest of these I went over pretty thoroughly. One more. Number 21 is going to be important as well. Politicians, as they build coalitions of supporters, they often try to frame their arguments to people in the middle of the bell curve, right? So you have the left wing of politics and you've got the right wing of politics. Most people are going to find themselves somewhere in the middle. They're not too far left. They're not too far right. And the people in the middle are going to mostly be the undecided voters. Or they're going to be somebody that's going to be more reasonably one way or the other. And that's who, politicians try to appeal to, are people in the middle. It's changed a little bit since Trump. Trump is probably the first president to go far, far right after winning. Most presidents, they do try to they still try to appeal to the parties that people that didn't vote for them. They still try to appeal to those people because you want to get re-election and all that. So let me see. Everything else, that looks good. We went over that. Okay. All right. And then there's the video that you have to watch for this unit. I think is I want to say it's the Choice 2012. Let me just double check real quick. Yeah, it's the Choice 2012. So watch the Choice 2012, and you should be good for this exam. I'm confident now that I went over everything that's going to be on exam 2, okay? So good luck to you all right? Peace.